Yes, guys. Welcome back to another stream. More bangers, as always, from Mercy Kelly. You know what to do. In fact, I'm going to a Mercy Kelly gig August the 31st at the Castle in town. So if anyone wants to come in Manchester, listen to him, have some beers and that, go to their Instagram. Tickets are on sale. Get on it, man. Support local music, man. It's sick. Yo, big up to Gina. Big up to Simfa Mandla. Big up to Dash, AK, big up to Steve in the building, Aaron, Rodrigo, Citizen, Daddy's Daddy, Jay Skies, Linny, Suvic, David C, Oxen, Sam Martin's in the building. Good to see you guys. Guys, make sure you are smashing the like button. Over 100 people in and already. Let's get those likes to 75 likes rapid. 25 people needed. New show, guys. Northwest, man. The best of the Northwest. I'll start off with Jamie Phillips because he's never been on the channel before. Jamie representing Liverpool. We will be speaking about Zubimendi. We'll be speaking about Liverpool, Arne Slot, what's going on with Liverpool, why they're not signing players, and what is our ambitions. Jamie, thanks for coming on the channel, man. How you doing, bro?
I'm doing good, man. I'm glad to be here, man. It should be a good show. Yeah, there's a Liverpool fan base it's not a good place right now, but let's see how it goes.
So you're in the trenches. You're in the trenches for sure. And big up Dan. Obviously, most people know Dan's been on the channel plenty of times. Dan, how you doing, bro? You well?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. Football is back. Football is back. Like, I tried to watch an Olympic Games football game, and I was like, nah, it's just not. It just doesn't sit right. So, we got the championship starting tomorrow. I'm just going to watch that because it's football, and then Saturday, big game Saturday, and then we're here. The Premier League is back. I can't believe it.
I know, man. I'm buzzing, man. I'm buzzing as well. It might be Pep's last season, isn't it? So we need to get it unlocked. But listen, I want to start with Liverpool, man, because I've not really spoke too much about Liverpool on the channel in the off season because you've not really been doing anything, to be honest with you. And anytime I say anything about Liverpool fans attack me. I don't. Let me put this to you, Jamie, and you can give me your take. But I don't understand, first of all, this narrative that's going around the Liverpool camp, the Liverpool media, the Liverpool journalists, some of the YouTube content creators, maybe you, maybe I don't know. Why is it that Liverpool said, we're not signing any players because Arne Slot wants to look at all the players? I think that's absolute joke, bro. You're not telling me this guy doesn't know about the players that are in his squad. You're not telling me that Arne Slot didn't join Liverpool knowing the players and already known where he needs to strengthen, like DM. What's going on here, like with Liverpool? Because for me, bro, it just seems a bit strange, mate.
I think that all them comments are taken a bit out of context in a way, because obviously, he doesn't need to see the players to know Virgil van Dijk and Mo Salah and Alisson Becker and all that is. He knows how they play. I think it is more of the underlining players that he wanted to get a gist of, and I think it's how the players will work in his system. And if certain players don't work, he knows what he knows goes to get. So like Wataru Endo's our really only DM in our football club. And he played hardly any minutes in pre-season. He started the first pre-season game in the States, played 45 minutes, and that was enough for Arne Slot. And since then, he's played multiple other players in that DM position through pre-season. And now he knows, look, the way I'm going to play, I need a ball-playing defensive midfielder. He almost wants like a deep lining playmaker in the way he wants to play. So them comments that were made, I think, like you say, people took it maybe that, how does he not? I think that it was the other way. I think it was the underlining factor. Who can play in my system? Let's have a look. And then we'll go and get the players we need. Every team needs to buy players. I don't always think, and I'm always on the thing of like, I don't think buying players always improves your team if they're not the correct players. I think you can just buy players for the sake of to please the fans and people like that. Buy the players that fit your team. That's all I care about. I don't care about star power, star name. If you go and buy a player that is going to fit Arne Slot's way of playing and it makes Liverpool better, just go and get the player. I don't care what his name is, how much value it costs. Really don't.
Yeah, because this is the thing. Like, I just think it's a bit strange because Liverpool have a team that is capable of winning the league. We know that because you almost won the league last year. You got to what, match day 31, 32 before you blew it. Like you could have won it last year. So I really thought this year Arne Slot was going to come in and Liverpool were going to go bang, 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 and then just fire straight away out the gates. Match. I don't, Dan. What your take is on the Liverpool thing? I just think it's mad quiet.
It's classic new manager coming in, though, isn't it? It's classic new manager. I agree with what Jamie said. I think when I saw the comments, I do see what he means in the sense of the players. He knows what a Mo Salah's going to do. He knows what Trent can do. I think it's about the other players on this tour. But then, you know something? These tours, these American tours, are just more trouble than they're worth. I just don't. It's marketing, isn't it? It's all about making money for the club. I can't be dealing with it. So. It's a weird one because I remember when Enzo signed last season. Signed last season. Liverpool fans were like, we've got this guy for next to nothing. He's incredible. I think he'd be gone. They were talking. Were they talking West Ham were potentially looking at him? There's a few clubs looking at him, wasn't there?
Yeah, he's not in Slot's plans. He's not in Slot's plans at all. No.
And
I thought he's a good player, isn't he? No.
Look at.
It's the way Slot wants to play. He wants to play that quick 1-2 touch passing, possession through the midfield. And what Endo's weakness is, he gets caught on the ball quite a lot. And if you're trying to play this pressing, possession game football, if you get caught on the ball in that midfield area where you're trying to play, it can cause trouble for you on the counter-attack. So he wants a better play in that position, which I'm all for. And if they think Zubimendi's the guy, go and get him. But we know the issues there. We'll talk about in a minute.
Do you think that Liverpool are transitioning more to City style of play, more possession based? Because Liverpool under Klopp, people compared us, but we weren't the same style at all. Liverpool
totally opposite. Yeah,
completely different. Yeah. Liverpool much more direct. Do you think that Liverpool maybe are now starting to transition? Because as well, if you look at some of the purchases of it, McAllister. I mean, McAllister. If you look at the team that you had when you were like one of the best teams in Europe under Klopp, McAllister wouldn't really have fit that. Your midfield was engine. It does look like you're going for more technical players. Do you think do you think actually, if that is true, if you agree with that, do you think that could cause any issues during the transition, or do you think it'll be smooth?
Well, this is the thing. We ain't going to know till we see this, till the first game in the Premier League season. That's because, pre-season sometimes can show you can look great, and then the first game happens and it all goes downhill. So I think from the first game against Ipswich is when we get a real idea. But as you say, he wants to play in a certain kind of way. He's got some similarities still to Klopp, especially in the high tempo way he wants to play. But it is going to be more possession based through the midfield, where last season we were playing a lot out from the back, but then sort of bypassed the midfield to go direct to the forwards. Where this season I think we're going to play out from the back, but play through the midfield. I saw in pre-season, in the pre-season games, like we're letting teams coming onto us. And we're trying to play through their press to open up spaces. So that's new. But it's going to take a while. There's still a bit of Klopp there. There's a bit of Slot there. I think Slot's doing the right thing. You don't want to change everything straight away. You slowly implant what you want as the season goes on. These players start to understand what you want, and then you go full turbo that way. But I'm like what I'm seeing him from so far. He's obviously a good coach. I mean, his Dutch days show that for 80 out mine final. He obviously knows what he's talking about and doing. But this is a whole new level, and but I bet the man.
Yeah, I've got a question for Dan, actually. Based off of what you've seen Ten Hag do, because obviously Ten Hag's come from the same league, same style of manager in terms of he wants to have possession of the ball. Do you see what mistakes could Arne Slot fall into that Ten Hag fell into that Slot needs to avoid? Do you get what I'm saying? Based off of what you've seen at United.
Well, the first thing that I think Ten Hag never really grasped was the difference between the top teams and the lower teams in Holland at levels compared to the Premier League. And I think that's what Slot's got to understand coming straight in. Make no doubt about it. Ipswich are coming to rain on their parade, first game of the season. You have to take every game as it comes. There's no chance of being able to rest players or rest on your laurels in certain games against the lower teams in the Premier League, because they will 100% have no fear playing Liverpool. And Manchester United, the times change now in the Premier League. We've seen it so many times. Teams can take points off anyone. So I think that's the thing mainly that I take from with Ten Hag that Slot has to do coming in. I think, do you know what? I mean, look, you hear managers talk, and look, they can all talk well, can't they? But the things he's been saying, I kind of sit there. When it was first announced he was coming, I said, well, this is Ten Hag Mark II. It could potentially be, but maybe he's done his homework. But look, make no doubt about it. The Liverpool fans, I don't know if Jamie falls into this bracket, they're going to have to be patient with him. There's no, they cannot. They're going to have the same issue United had. We lost Fergie, and we thought, it's okay. Moyes will come in. He'll do X, Y, Z. We'll be fine. Even if he doesn't, we got the players that can do it. They've got to be patient because these players, as Jamie rightly said, there's a bit of Klopp in the pre-season. There's a bit of Slot. It's going to take them time, and these pre-season friendlies, half the players aren't there. Half the players are still on holiday. So it's going to take time. I mean, look, if he hits the ground running, fantastic. But there's got to be that patience with their manager, because Liverpool fans, quite rightly so, have loved, reminding us that we've had that manager go merry-go-round for so long now since Fergie's gone. Danielle, sorry about that. They could fall into the same bracket. They have to give him the time. They do, and also if they're backing him in the transfer market, it has to be the right players as well.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I've been patient I've been patient this whole transfer window. I think Liverpool will end up signing 3 or 4 players this window. It's just going to be later on, and I'll be patient with the manager. If the club feel like he's the man, behind the scenes, I think Liverpool done really well getting people back in positions behind the scenes. Michael Edwards came back, basically running the club, getting the sporting director and Richard Hughes. Everyone behind the scenes is in place now, and they've chose Arne Slot. They literally chose Arne Slot, so they will be patient with him. There's no doubt about that. Liverpool quite patient with managers, so it's just a fan base that we've had a great time under Jurgen Klopp. Some Liverpool fans only know Jurgen Klopp, so. This is going to be a big change for everybody, fans and players alike. So patience is the key. I still think we've got a very core of a good squad. Additions need to be added. And I'm still happy about this coming season. I'm excited about it.
Well, what are your ambitions then for this year? Because, yes, it's Slot's first year in England, his first year in the Premier League, but you still have Salah, you still have Van Dijk, you still have Trent. You still have Alisson. You got McAllister. You've got good players in that team. You could have won the league last year. Bar some bad results. You could have won it. For you, is the aim? We got a challenge for the league. What's for your point of view as a Liverpool fan? And what are Liverpool fans saying online? Because some of them sort of just saying, "Oh, well, it's a new manager. We ain't challenging." Some accepted that we ain't challenging. What's going on with that?
Well, what's that? As it stands right now, I still think the top 3 of City, Arsenal, and Liverpool are still the top 3 next season as it stands. So if we get the players in, if we do manage to get Zubimendi and we go and get a left back and we go and get another forward that apparently we're after, I don't care if Arne Slot's the manager, Jurgen Klopp's the manager. With the players we got, we should be title challenging. I'm not going to sit here and say Virgil's the best goalkeeper in the world, Alisson's the best goalkeeper in the world, Mo Salah's the best right winger in the world, and then go finishing 4th's all right. That's mental.
I agree.
You've got to go for a title challenge with these players. We've not got bum. Trent's one of the best attacking right backs in world football. You've got still a core good centre back options. You've got a world class goalkeeper. We've got very good forwards. As I say, McAllister's going to be better this year. I think Szoboszlai will be better this year. I think Arne Slot suits more for Szoboszlai than he did for Jurgen Klopp in the way he wants him to play. You got Harvey Elliott, I think, is coming through nicely. Still got Curtis Jones. You've got good players, and there's no reason for me why this team can't title challenge. But make sure you get the players in to help Arne Slot. You got to give him help.
Yeah. I think any Liverpool fan that's saying the target isn't the league is wild. You've got to, that don't mean if you don't win the league, it's Slot out necessarily. That's up to Liverpool fans to decide. But like you said, bro, you've got 4 or 5 top players there, world class players. You can't just say, "Oh, because we've got a new manager, we're having a transition year." I'm not being funny. Trent might not be there next year. He's only got a year left on his deal. So you've got to challenge, because if you don't challenge, if your attitude as a Liverpool fan is, "Oh no, well, it's Slot's first year, so I'm not going to say we got a challenge for the league. We can do that next year." Well, hang on a minute. Salah might not be there next year because he's getting on. Trent might not be there. He's getting on. Van Dijk's getting on. You could have 3 of your best players, arguably 3 of your best players in that position of all time. So you've got to challenge now. There's a lot of pressure on. It feels, even though Klopp only won one Prem and only won one Champions League, it feels like the pressure on Slot, I think, is quite high because he's still got to deliver like a good Premier League finish. If he doesn't come in the top 4, that's bad with the players that you have.
Then you're worried. Then you're worried about Liverpool made the wrong decision. Exactly. So, yeah, Klopp left good players at this football club. Also, our youth players coming through. There's some decent players there. Look, Connor Bradley, came through last year. Gerald Kwanzaa came through last year. These are now first team players. Probably they're good footballers.
Jamie, with Slot, I think again it mirrors Manchester United amazingly because he wasn't your first choice, was he? Moyes wasn't our first choice. We went out there to get so many different managers, and that's another thing that I do worry with Slot is if it doesn't go well, if it doesn't start well, does it then start coming with the fans? Well, he wasn't our first choice. We've got it wrong. Blah blah blah. So, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, no, I agree. When you don't get your first choice, like everyone, I think all the world knows Xabi Alonso was a lot of people's first choice, and he was Liverpool's first choice, and then it was Bayern Munich's first choice, and neither of them got their man. But it's like in transfers as well, ain't it? Managers don't always get their first choice in players, and then sometimes when your second
Mine
choice
does,
comes
badly.
but sometimes when you get your second choice of player come through the door, you're like, oh, thank God we actually got him instead of the first choice because it's worked out better. So I suppose as a manager, hopefully they've done their homework. People are running the club. We just got to trust them. They've done their homework and they see something in Slot. Look, when I listen to him in press conferences, what I will say, I think Slot's English is better than Ten Hag's. I don't know how you feel about that. So because of that, I think he might be able to explain better to the players what he wants, maybe more than maybe Ten Hag struggling with that a little bit sometimes. Look, some people, I don't get it what it is. When he did his first press conference, a lot of Liverpool fans were coming out and saying, like, he's not as charismatic as Klopp and stuff like that. It's like, yeah, but who is? Like, does that matter?
There's one Klopp. There's one Klopp. There's one Klopp. There's one Guardiola. There's one Fergie.
Mourinho's one of the most Dan upset, angry men I've ever seen in my life. But he's a winner. Who cares about personality and if they're going to give you a cuddle after the game? I really don't care. I just want my manager to win things, and hopefully the club have done the right thing. I know time will tell. This could be an amazing coup, or we could be looking for another manager in 12 to 18 months. Who knows? I've just got to back the guy because that's who the club want.
Are you happy with your first few fixtures?
Yeah, our fixture list for our first 10 games ain't too bad. Obviously, we've got Man United on the third game, and I think Chelsea has probably second hardest game in them 10 fixtures. So our fixture list ain't too bad. If Slot wanted actually a good bedding in period, the fixture list have been quite kind for him like that. So I do expect Liverpool to pick up quite a few points in our first 10 games. There's no doubt about that. And then, we see where we go from there after. But it's going to be a learning curve for him as well. He was good at Feyenoord. He obviously won the league with them with no money. I think people forget how well we actually done at AZ Alkmaar with no money because they were level on points with that Ten Hag Ajax team when the league got stopped because of the pandemic and it never restarted again. So you don't know what he would have done there. So he's obviously a good coach, and that's what Liverpool had, and that's why he's head coach, not manager. So maybe that's what Liverpool have seen, and they feel like he could do the best for these players, and the players are happy at the moment. So yeah, I'm quite optimistic about the start of the season. It's just I hate transfer windows; they're the bear of my life. But
I'm exactly the same. The same.
As content creators, we've got to do them, but. It's I just can't wait for the September the 1st, to be fair. But hopefully we get some players in and Slot has the best chance he can.
No, I completely agree.
I don't know why, but my PC camera decided to die. So I've gone mobile, boys.
It's got mobile.
Yeah, it's got you can hear me all right though, yeah?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Yeah, I was listening to everything you were saying then, but yeah, it's interesting. Listen, I want to move on to United, boys, because there's been a lot going on at Man United with some signings, some injuries as well, and obviously, Dan, we got the game on Saturday. We'll speak about that in a bit. But, bro, what's going on, man? What's going on with United this year? You finished 8th last year, bro. Worst ever Premier League finish. Surely the pressure is on Ten Hag now to deliver, bro.
Of course it is. Look, I mean, the pressure's on any manager every season to deliver, isn't it? But I think last season he simply got out of jail didn't he, with the FA Cup win. So he's got to hit the ground running. The thing that worries me so much at the moment is the appointment of Ruud van Nistelrooy. It stinks of, if it goes wrong, Ruud will take over. It really does.
Mhm.
Pre-season, again, what I alluded to before, I've not really been asked with the results, mainly because half of our squad aren't there. I'm gutted that Yoro got injured straight away. That is just Man United's luck, man. He looked so good against Rangers, but he looked so good against Rangers. Looked exactly what we want from a centre-back, bringing the ball forward, starting things, and then goes and gets injured. And then, obviously, Højlund, again, injured. Xerxes, we haven't seen touch a ball. Xerxes been on holiday, played 3 or 4 minutes at the Euros, been on holiday all this time. I don't understand it. Make it make sense to me. It infuriates me. So, yeah, I mean, look, some of the positives, obviously, we've had a couple of the young lads on the tour that have got minutes. So Collier's looked really, really good. Harry Amast, there's been so much spoke about this kid for the back end of last season. I really like the look of him. Young left back, 17, fearless. So, yeah, it's looking good. The problem for me is the transfers. The transfers have not been right. We're looking at a right back. We're chasing Mazwari. We're chasing him so much. But surely our thing we have to do is get a left back, because Luke Shaw, made it to the final of the Euros before he could start a game of football. He is literally, every time he flies into a tackle, I'm going to be panicking. Is he going to be out for another 3 or 4 months? Malasia's just decided to show up at training. I feel like we should have got a left back. I said at the end of the season, I got a lot of hate for it from United fans. I'd have been looking to sell Shaw this summer and bring in a left back that I know consistently can play football, because it's been horrendous. We cannot have another season like we did last season, where we were playing Aaron Wan-Bissaka left back, Casemiro and Johnny Evans centre back. We can't do that. So there's obviously there's still just under a month left in the transfer window. I do expect us to still make 2 or 3 signings, but just get it done, man. Just get it done.
Did you hear Paul Scholes speaking about he's not happy that you've not signed enough midfielders?
Yeah.
What do you think about that? Do you agree?
Yeah, look, at the end of the day, I do agree to a certain extent. We can't go into another season with Christian Eriksen and Scott McTominay. We can't. Casemiro has looked absolutely diabolical. I did a TikTok and said, look, we should maybe just keep hold of him for a year. Regretting that now, completely regretting that. The guy is just unbelievably past it. So for me, we should have been getting at least 2 midfielders, because you're never going to replace 3 in one transfer window. I know that. I'm not stupid enough to say that, but Eriksen is too old now. You cannot expect Eriksen to play a full season of football. And again, Casemiro, we need a replacement there. I can't go another season watching them try and put McTominay and CDM. And I can't go. This season's massive for Kobe Mainoo. I don't want us to destroy him. I don't want him to be the person that we hang our hopes on in that bloody midfield. So we desperately need to go out there and get this midfielder sorted. It has to be done. Has to be.
Yeah, I hear you on that. When I look at United, though, it's goals a problem, because I know you obviously got Højlund up front. I think he's got injury now, hasn't he?
Yeah.
And then you've obviously gone and bought your new attacker, but he's more of a creative striker than he is a goal scoring striker, ain't he? Is that your worry again still this season, that you might create a lot of opportunities, but no one's going to put it in the back of the net?
Do you know what, Jamie? That was the problem last season. It was the opposite, mate. We weren't creating chances for Højlund. Højlund did not have anywhere near the chances that any other strikers in the league had. So when I heard people going in on Højlund, I thought, well, the guy was not getting any chances created for him. It was as simple as that. So they've brought Sancho back into the fold, which I am absolutely stunned at, by the way. I mean, that is not a Ten Hag decision. That is above him decision. He is coming back. You are keeping him. Simple as that. I thought maybe we were taking him on the tour to try and get some admirers in there to sign him, but he's going to stay. But then, do you know something? I'm taking Sancho over Anthony all day long. LB, I'd take you on the wing over Anthony all day long, mate. 100%. And I've seen your moves on the dance floor, mate. So I know what you're about. So look, we've still got time to rectify it. Now, the one thing I will say, and I've said this time and time again, I wasn't expecting Man United to get everything done in one transfer window. That was never going to happen. It was never ever going to happen. So but we've got to make sure we do the right thing. We've got to get the start that we need. So we need another centre back, 100%. We can't go another season with Lindelof, and I know Johnny Evans has been signed on for another season, but Johnny Evans has to literally be Carabao Cup games that we need to rest players. It's as simple as that. I think if we can get De Ligt in, it's a strange one with De Ligt because I myself, he's been to 2 big clubs now and it's not worked out. Eric Dyer was starting above him the end of last season for Munich. So it's one of them. It could go well. This could be the move that he needs to come in and play some football and get back up to where he could potentially be. He's still 24, so he's still young enough to do something there. But we have to get a centre back, and I think I would be nowhere near against keeping Wan-Bissaka and throwing the mould into getting a left back instead. That's where I am, and we need that. We need that CDM because we cannot go another season with what we've done last season. We can't.
Yeah, and you know what as well, right? It's so important that you get off to a good start because, obviously they give Ten Hag a new contract, but that contract kind of means nothing because at the end of the day, if you get to sort of October and you're not close to top 4, then I think they'll pull the trigger early. I think. He was sacked, wasn't it? Let's be honest. The guy was sacked. Nobody expected United to beat City in the FA Cup final. No one. He was fired, and then you won it, and then it was all of a sudden we can't sack him now. He just won it. So I think literally he's been given a chance, and maybe you could say he deserves it because he won the FA Cup. But at the end of the day, it's a trophy. But if it could go real toxic real quickly, I think. You've got to get off to a good start. What did you make about that comment? I don't know if you've seen it, bro. Comment that put up on screen a minute ago from a guy called Dan. He said he reckons United's sort of board is setting Ten Hag up for failure. Pathetic transfer window. What do you think? Maybe the board are almost setting him up for failure, bro?
Well, it's a crazy one because, and you do have to hold Ineos accountable for this because they come in and they said, we're going to make sure he has the tools. Well, at the moment, we've got a centre-back that's cropped and we've got a striker that no one's seen anything of yet. We've this link with us and Mazraoui and De Ligt has been going on for 3 weeks now. Now, obviously, Fabrizio Romano's been reporting for the last week that it all, by the looks of it, stems on if Bayern Munich can get Tar. If they can get Tar in, then De Ligt will come. But I don't know. I mean, it's one of them. There's no way that Dan Ashworth, there's no way that Jason Wilcox, there's no way that Barada, who you know a lot about, this isn't a window from them. There's no way it is. There's no way it is. It doesn't, it stinks, this window of potentially, we give him the new contract. But then at the same time, you give him a new contract, how much are we going to have to pay him if we sack him? He had 1 year left. It's a bizarre situation. Bizarre.
I always find it weird when people say, are the owners setting up a manager for failure? But don't the owners want success? So why would you set up a manager for failure? It seems a bit weird, that one, because you had the chance to get rid of Ten Hag at the end of the season. Ineos had the massive chance to just go, right, we're letting you go, we're starting fresh, fresh coat of paint here. And
I'm so glad they didn't get Tuchel. Oh my God, I'm so glad we didn't get Tuchel. I was honestly, when that name was linked, I'd have took Steve Bruce over him. I can't stand Tuchel. Can't stand him.
He falls out of players as well, Tuchel, don't he?
Yeah.
He's not good, man.
So does Ten Hag. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I mean, how is this guy work with Sancho and Ten Hag?
I reckon someone's booked him a bloody holiday in somewhere and sent them away for a weekend and said, right, sort your stuff out and come back and we'll go again.
Sort it all out, guys. Sort it out, yeah.
Yeah, this is what Dan's saying. He's saying, by that I mean they've come with all the talk, yet we're going into next season, our worst ever, with a lesser team.
Yeah.
What do you make of that?
Yeah. Well, look, at present, you can't deny it, can you? You can't, because we've still got players at the club that shouldn't be at the club. It's as simple as that. But then the other side of it is, and it's like I'm seeing the reports today of Wan-Bissaka demanding 7 million to leave. Where does this come from? We had this with Maguire last season? Like,
wow,
where has football gone now? You know, back 10, 15 years ago, if you were sold, you were sold. You weren't wanted at the club, you were sold. So he hasn't got the tools yet, but as I've said, you know, there's still a long time in this transfer window, and I kind of expected things to ramp up after we got back from America anyway, because signing players, you were never going to sign someone and fly them straight over, were you? So it's interesting, but at the moment, until the 1st of September, we don't know, do we? I still think we'll get 3 more players in, and I still think we'll see a couple leave.
I think the last week of the window is going to be a madness.
Yeah, I do. For everyone.
For everyone, I think it's going to be a madness, because you've had the Euros, the Copa, and the Olympics. And obviously, with everything going around in football right now, I think literally they're just all waiting for the last week, and it's just going to be a complete madness for a lot of teams.
Yeah. I think as well, a lot of teams are looking about who they can sell, because, of course, because of this FFP shit and profit and sustainability rules, because it runs from the end of July, 1st of August to the new August. This is why everyone wants to sell players in July, but no one wants to buy them, because obviously, so maybe teams are like, who are now looking forward to next summer's accounts and going, we don't know if we can buy players, because if we can't sell, so I see Goldbridge tweeting out every day like you've got like 5, 6, 7 players that you want to sell. Maybe if you buy players and then you can't sell those players, maybe that'll put you in profit and sustainability. I mean, we've already seen that United kind of got a little bit lucky with this COVID 40 million waiver that they put through. Maybe the reason that they're not signing these players is because of profit and sustainability. But I'm kind of with Jamie. I think that as we come towards the end of the transfer window, teams will have a better understanding of their finances. Maybe you can force some of these players. The thing is, though, right, on some of these players, McTominay, Wan-Bissaka, like, I feel like United just need to tell them, you're not here, mate. You're not playing, and get serious. Say, mate, if you want to stay. You're not playing. You go in training with the under 21s, like, we'll pay you the wages, so it's not a breach of contract. You ain't playing for us. So you either find a new club or you train with the 21s. We need to move you on. I feel like with United, because this happened with McTominay when West Ham wanted him. Like, he didn't want to go West Ham, and it's sort of like, I feel like United have to get a bit tough and a bit serious, because it seems like, I mean, you just mentioned that Wan-Bissaka wants all this money for him to leave. It seems like the players are in control.
Oh, 100%.
Rather than the club.
It's 100%, but this is modern football, isn't it? Unfortunately, it's the whole thing's that I still can't get my head around, and call me old-fashioned, when I see terms with the players already been agreed, just waiting for fee. Well, that used to be tapping up. You know, I remember Mourinho getting in a lot of trouble for that. Now you've got play like if you believe what Fabrizio says, and he very rarely gets it wrong. De Ligt's done. You know, he's already agreed, and so's Mazraoui, and apparently at the time Ugarte. So it's crazy. But I do go back to it. I do think towards the end of the window that it will be a fire sale. And in fact, I absolutely think that this deadline day could be one of the craziest yet. I honestly do.
Yeah,
interesting. Let's have a look at guys. Make sure you're smashing the likes up on here. We've got over 300 people tuned in. Let's get those likes to 200. But guys, we need 20 people out of 300 to hit the thumbs up button to get us to 200 likes. Let's have a look. We've got a CB who says LB respect for bringing on the Red Cartel. Yeah, we got the Red Cartel in the building. Big up CB. Big up to the Dugout Football channel as well, guys. Make sure you guys are subscribed to Doug. It says, LB, you think City get a replacement for Alvarez? No, I don't. Dan, do you think if Ten Hag has a slow start, do Ineos sack him? And, well, yeah, I mean, you might have answered that before you joined, but Dan?
Yeah, no, I hope it isn't, but I do fear with Van Nistelrooy coming in there that's potentially. And do you know something? Man United just got a lot more Dutch. Man United this season, all of a sudden, just got a lot more Dutch. Xerxes Dutch. He's changed the back room. He's brought more Dutch. It's getting Dutch. It's getting Dutch.
I mean, like, yeah.
Right, okay. Let's move it on to City for the final part of the show. What have you made of City's business this window, lads? I mean, obviously we got Savio in, but we knew we was getting Savio back in February, March, when it was agreed quite earlier. No other signings other than that. Very quiet. No replacement no backup to Rodri. We've just let Alvarez go for a great fee, 95 million euros. What do you think, lads? Have you been surprised at City's lack of transfer activity? Is this how you expected? What are you guys saying?
It's very hard for City to find play. Look, you see, got a tremendous squad. Yeah, got world-class players. So it's very hard for City to get the right player in for a certain position. That's where City are right now. I think City need a deputy defensive midfielder for Rodri, because if Rodri goes missing, I don't know who City comes in for him. So
Calvin Phillips can't do it because Calvin Phillips is a centre back now. He's a ball-playing centre back now.
So you need someone there, and that's difficult to do because you go ask a defensive midfielder that you go by. Look, you go play if Rodri goes missing or is injured or form drops or anything like that, unless you get someone who can play with Rodri as well at the same time. Forward wise, who you go get as a striker? Look, the Alvarez was proudly leaving because Haaland's the main guy. The wide areas, I suppose, might be the area where you can improve on, but it's very difficult, ain't it? We're not sitting here saying like it is difficult for City to improve on what they got, but squad depth. I think we're coming to the end of the days where you have 2 players for each position, because I think that's where players with Alvarez, he wanted to leave because he wants to be the man somewhere. I think we're coming to a days now where you get your first 11, and then you get a lot of versatile players that can play multiple positions. I think that's what we're looking at that now. And with City, that's maybe what they do in this summer. If they do anything, maybe they get some players that are very, very good players that are versatile in multiple positions and add to their squad that way.
Well, I must say, I'm glad to see McAtee. Sorry, Albie, I'm looking forward to seeing McAtee get some minutes there. I must admit, I'm looking forward to that, and I liked his interview the other day. He said, "I'm here to learn from the best." I think this season it'd be good for him with the competitions, because haven't you got the World Club? Aren't you in the World Club Championships again this year? So it's going to be good. It's going to be key for him. He's going to get some experience in there. I was going to ask you a question. I wanted to ask you a question with regards to Alvarez. Are you glad he didn't go to Chelsea?
You never want players to go to English teams, man, because they might dunk on you. But at the end of the day, we got 95 million euros, which is about 80 million quid, including the add-ons. Great fee. But, Jamie's right. Like, at the end of the day, the guy wanted to lead the line. And it just so happened that when we bought Haaland and we bought Alvarez for a combined fee of 64 million quid, we ended up with 2 of the best strikers in the world. Like, no one realised how good Alvarez was going to be when he came in. I think it's been a bit disrespected on social media. A lot of people are saying he's been, I think Goldbridge said he was worth 40 mil. And it's like, come on, man, have a day off like that. He's a top player. I think he's going to prove, I think he's going to prove a lot of people wrong. I think he's going to go to Atletico Madrid, and I think he's going to do really, really well. And I think Jamie's right. From our point of view, we ain't going to sign. I don't think we're going to sign another attacking midfielder. I think we'll use someone like a McAtee. We'll use an Oscar Bob, who's been our best player in pre-season. My only concern, and it's a big, big concern, is the lack of transfer activity regarding a Rodri backup, because I don't think Kovacic can do it personally. We have no one else at the team that can do it. He's trialing Nico O'Reilly, a young kid. Maybe he could do it, but he's not even a DM. He's never played DM in the academy, as far as I'm aware. He's played further up the pitch, so it's a risk. But obviously, if Pep thinks he can do it, then you've saved 150 million quid. We all know, because one of the things is, we all know, every City fan knows that next summer we're probably going to be laying down over 100 million quid for a Kevin De Bruyne replacement, because he's probably going to leave Kevin De Bruyne at the end of next summer, and it's probably going to go for Musiala or Florian Wirtz, because at the moment they're the only two. They're the only two. So maybe they're just looking at it and saying, "Do we really, really need a DM? Can we not get away with Kovacic? Can we get away with someone else? Because next summer we got to go big." Maybe that's what they're doing, but it's a risk. It's a risky strategy, lads.
Pressure isn't on you though this season. Pressure isn't on you. I said this to you, in our chat a couple of days ago. Pressure's not on you this season. It's It's on Arsenal. Arsenal have to do something this season. We've had 2 seasons of everyone saying, "Oh, Arsenal, they're nearly there." Arteta's building something there. I mean, Christ, that story about the pickpocketing thing was just absolutely hilarious. That was classic David Brent behaviour. That was, mate. That was classic David Brent behaviour.
It's weird behaviour, ain't it? It's just weird.
But 700 million, they got to do something. So I think the pressure is on Arsenal this season. I think they've taken it off you. So regardless, that's why I don't think that Pep's really going to feel the pressure this season. And as you quite rightly say, if there's a season where you're going to do what you're doing, perhaps this is the season to do it. And then when De Bruyne goes next season, you can go all out. Do you know what I mean?
I think you'll get Musiala next year because Musiala's not signed a new contract, has he, with Bayern? So if De Bruyne gives you one more season, then you're probably going to pick up Musiala pretty cheap instead of going for him this summer. So from a City standpoint, it makes sense. De Bruyne's still there. Musiala is going to start Bayern Munich this year. And then next year, he's going to be, you could be going in for him quite early, especially if, De Bruyne's leaving. But yeah, as I said, I don't think always signing players is everything all the time. I think we live in a world now where you have to sign a player. It's doomed and gloom constantly. I look at City. City are like, when Liverpool won the Champions League and they didn't sign anyone, they won the Premier League the following year. Because it was very hard to see who we can buy that can do what everyone else is doing in that team right now. I think City are that this year. I think they're looking at it thinking, right, we've got a core here. It's very hard to improve on. But around Europe right now, we're watching big players' contracts going down and down and down. Let's look at next year. That's what I feel. And I don't see anything wrong with that.
Well, you know what's funny as well, right, is I've predicted that more players are going to start running down the contracts.
Yeah, definitely.
And more players. Bro, the finance fees, the wages. Because for me, I just think players are cutting in. People say, well, why did this never happen? Well, the difference is, you go back 20 years, footballers were on a lot of money, right? 20 years ago, even 30 years ago. But if they always said, oh, well, if you run a contract down and you get injured and it ends your career, players get paid so much money now from a ridiculously young age that they can afford to take the risk. If you're a 20-year-old, right, and your contract ends in August, right, and you'll be 20. So say you turn 21 in August, right, and your contract ends and you're like an up-and-coming player. The likelihood is that you've already been on 30, 40 grand a week anyway for the last 3 or 4 years. Because if you're that good, that you're probably already on it. So your agent says, right, there's 2 things we can do. We can sign a new contract, and that will give you some sick money. You get a bit of a sign-on bonus. And also, if you get injured, you're safe because you've got a contract. Or you can not sign a contract. You can run it down to 0 risks. If you get injured and your career ends, you're screwed. You're not getting paid for 5 years. But if you then sign for a team for free, your wages will be up because the team didn't have to pay a transfer fee, and you're going to get a massive signing-on bonus. It's probably easier to negotiate stuff like player image rights as well because the club didn't have to sign any. You didn't have to pay for any transfer fee. I'm predicting, man, player wages I think are going to go up through the roof, and I think clubs are going to become really, really vulnerable to players not signing contracts. And I think, this is spot on. Mbappe has changed the game. And PSG, when they kept on giving Mbappe a 1-year contract extension, oh, please stay, Mbappe, please don't go. I'll sign a 1-year deal. And they just kept on doing it, putting his wage up every single year, signing a new deal. What PSG should have done, he said, no, you sign a 3 or 4 year contract extension, or we're selling you. And I think that he's paved the way now. He's paved the way for players to look at it and go, like, look at Trent. Trent is just, Liverpool now are in a horrendous position where Trent can go up to Liverpool and say, 400 grand a week. And everyone would go, 400 grand a week? You're a right back. What you're talking about, 400 grand a week, or I'm going Real Madrid. Yeah. Look what Liverpool do. Liverpool are like, do we give him 400 grand a week? That blows the wage structure up. Or do you let someone who's probably worth, I don't know, what's Trent worth? 80 mil in this market?
Yeah, probably.
You let him walk out the door for free. I think clubs are going to become really vulnerable, lads. I really do.
Yeah, I do as well. I think we're going to see an end to not transfer fees entirely, but for the big players,
The world record ones.
Yeah, I think it's going to be more free transfers and massive signing on
Do
fees.
we repeal the Bosman? Because obviously this is where it all came from, is when the Bosman came in. Maybe that was okay back in the day, but now players get paid so much money. Maybe it's time to talk about going back. How did that? Do either of you remember how that even worked? Like, I don't even know how that fucking worked.
He wanted out of his contract at his club, didn't he? He wanted out of his contract badly because he wanted to go to a team. They rejected it. He didn't want to stay at that club, and he felt like the players should have more power. If they want to leave, a club should not be able to keep them. So he took
because
it
of their career.
and he took it to the courts, and the courts agreed with him. They gave all the power to the players. It's madness.
Put agents in that now as well, and like the whole thing with Wan-Bissaka. The reason that he wants the 7 million is because he is saying if I leave him on a free next season, well, I'm going to get, that's what I would get as a signing on fee somewhere. So it's ridiculous. And then I wonder if maybe after a while the FA or FIFA will cotton onto that, and then maybe that's where we potentially could start seeing the wage cap come in. I don't know.
But this is like look at Frankie de Jong. He can't leave Barcelona. The wages he's on is a madness.
We were linked with him again today, Jamie, and I thought, here we go.
It's never happening. He's staying there, man. Like Gareth Bale, he decided, you know what, I don't need to play football. I just sit on the subs bench and pick up 600 grand a week. He even spoke about it. Yeah.
But the thing is, with the Wan-Bissaka thing, it's like at the end of the day, like he signed a contract with the club, so he's I know it's bad, but like he's well within his right to say, give me the money, and ultimately this is punishing Man United's previous regime.
100%.
And this is why I've said for a long time to you, and whilst I do think Ineos will be better for you, and I do think you're going in the right direction, this is why I said I don't think United will be competing properly for another 2-3 years. It's because stuff like this doesn't get sorted out overnight. It takes transfer window after transfer, and you said this earlier. To be fair, it takes a couple of years to get this sorted.
LB, people like that, people like Eriksen. Okay, if I'm United, Eriksen's got 1 year left. I'm saying to him, here's your money, off you go. Do you know what I mean? Thank you very much for your service. Because look, you're not going to pull a massive transfer fee for Christian Eriksen. I don't see clubs back. I thought we started so well with the Donny van de Beek thing. I thought, brilliant. Yes, brilliant. Just get rid of him. He's never going to play for us. We'll put it on, you pay an upfront fee, which was minimal, but then there's performance-based, the transfer fee can rise. I thought, fantastic, that's the start. Why aren't we doing that with a Christian Eriksen? Why aren't we trying to do that with the other players? It just baffles me, I think Ineos, to be fair to them, from what I hear, from behind the scenes, they're doing all they can to try and get rid of Anthony. They're doing all they can because, again, he's a player that he's just abysmal. He is abysmal, and he's on stupid money as well for what he is. So, God, you're exactly right. This Ineos are not going to be able to get anywhere near clearing this mess for 2 years minimum, absolute minimum. So when Manchester United fans are saying this is the new dawn, this is us now, we've got Dan Ashworth, we've got Barada, we're going straight to the top. No, we're not. As a United fan, I am focusing solely on us kicking, screaming, clawing our way to get back to Champions League. I don't care if we get it 5th with the bloody coefficient. That's what we have to do. We have to be getting, that is our first aim, Champions League. We can't be stupid enough to think that other people say, oh, well, City haven't signed anyone. Arsenal have got all the pressure. Liverpool have got a new manager. You know what? If there's a season that we can challenge, this bullshit. Don't talk out your ass. Bullshit. Realism has to come through with this. Simple as that.
Yeah, I agree. Interesting. Let me come to some of these super chats, guys. Make sure you are hitting the like button, man. Over 300 people tuned in. Let's get those likes up. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. Both of these guys' links are in the description as well. Jamie's YouTube channel and Dan's TikTok. Let's have a look at these super chats. LB says, "Why is Ten Hag want all his old players?" It's weird.
LB 98. Good to see you. Good to see. I've missed you this summer. I've missed you. Yeah, honestly, look, this is another thing. When Ashworth and co come in, I thought that's it now. Brilliant. We're going to go for players in a broader market. And to be fair, we can't expect it in the first transfer window. But then you're right, De Ligt is his boy, isn't he? He's the man who brought him through. Mazraoui played for him at Ajax as well. So
really, oh bloody hell.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He played for him at Ajax. Yeah, he was there a few years before. I think he left the same season as Ten Hag. He went to Munich, and Ten Hag come to us.
Oh, okay.
If I'm not mistaken.
Okay. RSV says, Dan, if this was Man United of the past, they would have definitely signed Branthwaite for 75 mil. You've got to give Ineos credit. They're not going to fix things in one window, which is true. 100%.
I said that, and I'll give them their flowers. I'll give them their flowers with the Xerxes deal, because the Xerxes deal was I think he had a minimum release of 39 million or 37 million, and we structured it over a longer period, so we didn't pay as much up front. So yeah, completely. And Manchester United please don't get this twisted. I'm not sat here saying in the next few weeks we've got to go out there, and if PSG want 90 million for Ugarte, pay it. If Munich wants 60 million for De Ligt, pay it. No, I'm not saying that. What I think the way we've gone for so long, where we have just paid what people have said and overpaid, that stopped. And I think that's why we're seeing these transfers now taking as long as they are. Usually with Manchester United, the transfer took such a long time because they drag it out and go back and offer more and more and more. This time around, Manchester United, I think, genuinely are standing firm and saying, well, no, we are paying this much and that is it. It's just the thing that worries me is at the moment, I don't know who is the backup to these players if we don't get them. That's my concern.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good super chat, RSV. E-Ink says, Bernardo, Nunes and KDB replacements next season. Probably. I think next year is going to be a huge season for City in the transfer market, provided we don't get relegated, bro. But yeah, 100%. No, genuinely. Because, we've got him, we've got Kevin De Bruyne, Bernardo probably will leave. Nunes, it's a big year for Nunes. He might leave if he doesn't have a good year. Walker will probably leave. If John Stones doesn't have a good season, gets injured, he'll probably leave. So it could be next year. City could be laying down some serious cash, 100%. Big up Cheek says, "Look, LB, if we don't win anything next season, don't forget about friends and memories we've made along the way. They mean both friends and memories." That sounds something like an Arsenal fan would say, bro. To be honest with you. Big up Cheeks. Okay, interesting. Anything else you guys wanted to discuss or chat about before we end up wrapping up the show? By the way, chat, if there's anything that you want us to talk about, fire me. Jamie, anything that you like to get off your chest, bro?
No, just like Liverpool fans, like chill. The Zubimendi stuff, chill. I actually believe that Liverpool got a backup player they'll go for if this don't work. I think it's a different regime now. They'll probably look at someone else. A DM will definitely come in. So yeah, if it don't happen, it don't happen. I think with this Martin Zubimendi thing, I don't think any other club has actually got this far with Zubimendi, to be fair. So, we
were linked, weren't we, Jamie? And it's got Liverpool written all over it, that signing.
He's 25 now as well. He's got, how long, Sociedad not in the Champions League. They've already just come out and said they can't offer him anything financially like Liverpool going to do. And what makes me laugh, they're trying to. So what came out was that it sounds like he said yes to Liverpool, and now they're trying to convince him to stay. And they gave him a PowerPoint thing about, you can't go to Liverpool. Obviously, in northern Spain with the Basque region, we got the mountains. You like walking around the mountains and all this sort of stuff. It's like, no. So someone created a picture of Anfield with the mountains behind them today, just to say, don't worry about it. But look, whatever happens. I'm not going to sit here and cry about it if it don't happen. It just shows that my club are looking at the right kind of players. So that's the main thing.
Jamie, do you think that players are not dubious about joining Liverpool, because Liverpool is a massive club? Of course it is. The heritage, everything about it. Do you think some players are looking and seeing, right, I want to see what Slot's all about first before I go there?
Yeah, could be. I think that even includes the three players that need to sign new contracts. That's why they're waiting it out. They want to see what the future holds, and I don't blame them players. I blame the club for letting them go to 1 year left on their deal. Can't blame anyone else. I can't blame the players.
That's shocking.
And that's the club's fault. But yeah, I do think 2 of the 3 signed new deals. But yeah, that and Zubimendi happens, I'll be an
Who
happy man.
would you want then out of those three? So if I'm giving you two are going to sign now. Who are you keeping, and who's the one you're letting go?
I think Virgil definitely signs. At 33, he loves the club. I don't know where he goes to be the number one centre back now at his age. He'll get a big contract as well. I think Trent does stay. I just think him being a Scouser, born and bred, I think he just wants to captain the club as well. I think he will stay. I think Mo.
Best mates with Bellingham as well. Best mates with Bellingham, Trent, isn't he?
Yeah, bastards. I think Mo might go. I think this might be.
I can't imagine a Liverpool side without Mo Salah. It's weird.
No, it's mad, but
I can't imagine it.
Unless he's happy staying on roughly the same wage he's on now, 350 grand a week, and he just signs an extension. What I've heard about it, money's not the issue; it's the length of deal. I think he might want a longer deal than
that's exactly what happened with Gundogan. Because when you get to that age, you've already earned a lot of cash. What they want then, they want to extend that contract for as long as possible. So, yeah, Liverpool will probably be offering him 1 year or maybe 2 years, and he'll want 3, maybe 4. That's what happened with Gundogan. Gundogan wanted 2-3 years, and City were like, no, we're only giving you a 1 year deal.
Yeah, exactly.
Learn from our mistakes, give him what he wants, is what I'd say.
Yeah. Like I'd want Mo to stay. I mean, he's absolutely amazing in pre-season already, so why he'd let him go? But hey,
I wouldn't mind him going, mate. I'm sick of watching him putting the ball in the back of the net against us. So if he wants to go, I'm happy with you just having Nunes, to be fair.
Final bit. Dan, obviously it's the Community Shield on Saturday, bro. It was last time. We've lost our last 3 Community Shield games in a row, you know.
It means now.
I was just about to say exactly this. LB, all I want to see is players come through that unscathed, because it's going to be players who are playing for the first time, haven't had a pre-season. So many of them have been off. As long as we get all our players through without any stupid injuries ready for Fulham, I couldn't care less, mate. I genuinely couldn't care less. You won't see me beating my chest being Community Shield winners. I remember when Jose was in charge, and I remember us winning the Community Shield, the League Cup, and was it the UEFA back then? And people were saying treble. I don't care about it. This for me is just an extended pre-season friendly for the lads who haven't been there throughout our proper pre-season, getting minutes. I don't care. I really don't care.
Let's see what you're doing on Monday night show, because Popsy's told me that we've got a show on Monday.
LB, honestly, I promise you, mate, if we beat you, I certainly won't be sitting there going, hey, we're coming for you. It's an extended pre-season for me, 100%. I've never liked it. I think it's a pointless bloody shield at a time of the season where you don't bloody need it. It's just another way of generating money for the FA, getting bums on seats at their national stadium. So I don't care.
Okay. Right, guys, make sure you guys have smashed a like. Make sure you guys have subscribed to the channel as well if you are new. Both of these guys' links are in the description. Dan's TikTok is there, and Jamie's YouTube channel is there. Go give those a follow. Make sure you're checking them out. Big up to you, lads. I appreciate you for joining me for the first episode. I will be back tomorrow with some more streams. I've got the midday live show. Well, it's actually not midday. It's 1 p.m. And then I've got a show with Saeed doing a preview of this Community Shield game. I don't know if that's going to be a stream or a video, but keep your eyes peeled on that, and there'll be another video on more LB. Guys, since I come back off my holiday, this channel is cooking. Streams every day. I'll catch you tomorrow. Peace out. See you later.